You know what's funny? Sometimes the biggest, most incredible ideas are hiding in plain sight, in the smallest of places. Today, we're going to go on a little journey. It all starts with just one single word. But believe me, where it ends up, well, it reveals this massive, ambitious global project. So let's get started.
So, what can one little word really teach us about the entire world? That's the big question at the heart of what we're talking about today. We're going to take a word that, let's be honest, you probably know and use all the time, and we're just going to start peeling back the layers. And I promise, what we find is a story you are not going to see coming.
Okay, so let's begin by putting one very common word right under the microscope. Seriously, we're going to treat it like some kind of historical artifact and just examine every single part to see what it's really made of.
And that word is beautiful. Now, the Simple English Wiktionary gives us this wonderfully clear, no-fuss definition. It's not trying to get all deep about art or philosophy or anything like that. Nope. It just says if something is beautiful, it is very good to look at. Simple as that. So let's use that as our starting point, our baseline.
And you can actually see exactly how the word is built. It's not just some random collection of letters. You take the noun, beauty, and you add the suffix full, which of course means full of. So literally, it's full of beauty. So simple, so elegant, and totally logical.
But here's the thing. A word isn't just its parts on a page, right? It really comes alive when we actually say it. So how does this combination of letters and meaning translate into sound?
Well, this is how you'd write it out using the International Phonetic Alphabet. What's cool is that the source material even has audio files where you can hear the tiny little differences, like in the vowel sounds between a standard US and a standard UK pronunciation.
Okay, so we've covered the definition, the structure, the sound. Everything seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Well, turns out buried in the source material for this one little word is a clue to a much, much bigger story.
So this is the dictionary page where we've gotten all our information so far. And at first glance, it looks totally normal, right? Nothing seems unusual. You've got the pronunciation, the definition, all the stuff you'd expect to see.
But then you see this one line. It's just tucked away there, right under the main header. It says, beautiful is on the Basic English 850 list. Wait, what? What does that even mean? It just feels so random, so completely out of place, doesn't it?
And this is the question that changes everything. That one weird little sentence opens up a door that we didn't even know existed. It's the thread that we are now going to pull on to unravel this whole mystery.
So we follow that clue, and it leads us to this project called Basic English. And this isn't just some random list, okay? It's a complete constructed language system with a really specific, really ambitious goal. It was actually created way back in the 1930s by a linguist named C.K. Ogden.
So, what was Ogden's goal? He wanted to create an easy-to-learn version of English that could be used as a universal second language. You have to remember, this was a time of global conflict, and the idea was that if everyone had a shared language, it could be a powerful tool for international business, science, maybe even for peace.
Now, the way Basic English works is by stripping the language down to its absolute bare essentials. Ogden and his team basically analyzed the whole English language to find the smallest possible set of words you'd need to express almost any practical idea.
And the number they landed on was 850. That's it. Not tens of thousands of words like in regular English, just 850 carefully chosen words that were meant to do all the heavy lifting for global communication.
Which brings us right back to where we started, in a list that's all about being practical, a list with words for numbers and directions and actions. Why on earth does a subjective, kind of abstract concept like beautiful make the cut? Why is it essential?
Well, the answer is because the idea of beauty, it isn't just an English thing. It's fundamental. It's a core part of being human that you see across pretty much every culture and every language.
You know, from the Romance languages of Europe to the Semitic languages spoken across the Middle East.
From the Bantu languages in Africa,
all the way to the Japonic languages in East Asia.
And of course, the Slavic languages of the East. I mean, the source we looked at for our word list, 77 different translations. That pretty much proves that the need to talk about what we find beautiful is a universal human impulse, and that makes it a truly essential word.
So let's just recap everything we've uncovered. We started with a totally normal dictionary entry, and by following one strange little clue, we found a whole system for global communication. We learned that Basic English is a project from the 1930s that uses just 850 core words, and that beautiful is on that list because it represents a universal, absolutely essential human idea.
Which kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Seriously, think about it. If you had to, Could you describe your world, all of its complexity, all the little nuances, all the beauty, using only that core list of 850 words? What would you gain, and what do you think you might lose?